All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we are going to talk about Gervonta Tank Davis going at Clarissa Shields apparently over some tweets, a retweet that she released, and also old favorite of mine, Ishai Smith joining in the fray. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be talking about Gervonta Tank Davis, Clarissa Shields, Jake Paul, and Ishai Smith. Two excellent fighters, one former world champion, and one guy that is good at keeping his name in the media. Basically, Gervonta Tank Davis really not appreciating some tweets that came out from Clarissa Shields, and neither did Ishai Smith. But let's get into it. But before we do, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much for your continued support. Shout out to the entire crew in the live streams that we do. This one specifically is going to go out to Mike Kirkland and my guy Stone Alone. But let's get into this. So yesterday there was a pay-per-view event that by everything that I could see seemed to do pretty well, and it was involving Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury on ESPN. Now, in that fight, Tommy Fury beat Jake Paul in a 8-round fight that, as a lifelong fan of the sport, I would consider a D-level fight. Neither one of those guys to me seemed like they were top level fighters. And in fact, the crazy thing is that they actually fought in the main event of a fight where you had the WBC cruiserweight title on the line and Badu Jack fighting Makabu, right? But anyway, everybody knows this, and Jake Paul lost. Now, I got a good chuckle out of it because I'm like, man, I think highly of Jake Paul to the extent that he's doing women promoting. And I understand what he's trying to do as far as this whole influencer type of boxing. But Clarissa Shields, he released a video and where he said, this is what it looks like when you've lost, when you lose, but you make $30 million in the process. And he goes in between crying and laughing, giving a thumb up, and crying and giving a thumbs up, right? And Clarissa Shields puts out a tweet and says, hey, yeah, that's how you got to be. That's how you got to be. I'd rather try and fail than, never have tried at all. Usual congratulatory, type of sympathetic thing. And however, two world champions were not having any of it. And that is Gervonta Tank Davis and Ishai Smith. Gervonta Davis comes out and says, man, this basically saying that there's a whole lot of D riders in the sport. And that is crazy how people they will, laugh and ridicule a real fighter when they lose. But, you got these guys that are not even real fighters, and they riding and congratulating them for losing. They say, man, basically there's a bunch of D riders in the sport. Same thing. Ishai Smith comes out and says the same thing about it. It has to, they both look like they're directing it at Clarissa Shields, because Clarissa Shields responds to both of them, right? And Ishai Smith says basically the same thing, right? So, how do you take this? And I got to tell you, man, that I am not somebody that really is a big fan of this influencer boxing stuff. I do think that it is, I don't really know how many more real fans it's bringing to the sport, honestly. People say they think that it'll get more eyes on the sport, but we'll see. However, I gotta say, man, with as far as this Jake Paul thing goes and Gervonta Davis' reaction to it, dude, how can you not sympathize with what the guy has to say? Now, I obviously am a big fan of boxing, and you see people that really do lose at certain points in their career when they're having big events, and they get ridiculed by the boxing world. Take, for example, best example for me is Adrian Broner after Marcus Maidana. Adrian Broner is a real fighter. I mean, as in he's somebody that has been fighting his entire life, but not just his entire life. He got his skill set and his ability to a world-class level. And there was not a lot of sympathy for him in the boxing world when he lost. But Jake Paul loses to a guy did all that talking, right? And when I'm saying did a lot of talking about wanting to fight Badu Jack, talking about wanting to fight Canelo Alvarez and how he feels, a couple years he's going to be there to fight Canelo Alvarez. Man, dude, if you're talking about fighting Canelo Alvarez in 2 years, ain't no way in the world. And you to actually seriously be able to beat him, there ain't no way in the world you're going to be losing to Tommy Fury right now. And I don't care what weight class that is. There should be more respect for that. I think Jake Paul should have showed when he's talking about real fighters. And I mean, world-class level real fighters should be, a little bit less, I'm a real fighter. Man, he's not a real fighter, man. Even the press, even the conversation that Sean Porter and the other commentators were having when they were saying, "Oh, this is a real fight. These are real." No, it is. It's a real fight. And yeah, he really does have gloves on and he really does focus on boxing. But man, stop, man. I don't care if I've decided I'm going to pick up the piano this year and I work really, really hard for the next 4.5 years. If for some corny reason, millions of people start listening to my mediocre piano playing because they know me on YouTube because I'm a boxing guy, that is doing a disservice to the people that have dedicated their entire life to playing that instrument and have truly, truly mastered that. So, I'm kind of with Ishe Smith on this and Gervonta Davis on it, especially with the D writing portion of it, because come on, man, it's people are saying that about Jake Paul and being complimentary of Jake Paul as far as him being a fighter because it's the popular thing to do. And that's what they mean when they saying somebody's doing some D writing. Also, for Clarissa Shields to be really, and I don't really have a major issue with specifically what she said. However, I will add this, that, Clarissa Shields is always been somebody that has really kind of amped herself up about some other people and are really quick to talk about what other people have not done and how she's better than them. And a lot of that has to do with losses that people have had. If you're going to be respectful of Jake Paul and what Jake Paul did by losing to Tommy Fury, I think that, saying things about Layla Ali or Ann Wolfe and all of that stuff, you may want to tuck that stuff. But anyway, man, to me, I watched that Jake Paul fight and I got to tell you, man, I'm okay with that. Like I understand if you are really, it's kind of to me almost like on YouTube and these boxing channels, how everybody, there's certain people will make videos about other people and people go back and forth. If you were to take these people and stick them in a boxing ring, and they had enough viewers so where they can do something, they can make it an interesting thing. You still, when you look at the product's not good. And so I don't see how that is really sustaining or would help the sport of boxing. Jake Paul's product is really not good. That product was not the best. And in fact, not close to the best. And in fact, I watched a level, fighters on Showtime, that Showtime card the night before. And, in my mind's eye, I can see both of them going on at the same time. And you just can't tell me that that's world-class boxing. It's not world-class boxing. He may be making world-class money, but he ain't a world-class fighter. And it really is unfair to the people that are really in there that have really mastered their craft for you to compare yourself to them. And for him to lose, hey man, you made all that money, dog, but acting like losing is a joke when people have made just as much money or more money than he's made in a fight, and they take those losses very, very, very seriously. They don't look out there and be like, I lost and all that stuff after a loss. It's just not how any of those dudes behave. Canelo Alvarez didn't behave like that when he lost to Dimitri Bivol for all that money. Manny Pacquiao didn't behave like that after he lost to Floyd Mayweather Jr. for all that money. It just, to me, the way that he reacted makes it sound like a joke. The different standards of care for somebody based on, that popularity, just because something is a flash in the pan type of thing going on is funny. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comments section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.